Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Become a Professional Liability Expert. My name is Lexi Johnson. I am our professional liability underwriter here at CID Insurance, and I want to welcome you here today. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Lisa.
Thank you so much, Lexi. Thank you all for having me today. Today, I'll be talking about some of the trending classes that the underwriters at USLI have been seeing since the start of the pandemic. I'll also be providing examples of risks we have successfully quoted and bound. Then Katie, our phone and web quoting specialist here at USLI, will be covering the how-tos of our quick and simple phone and web quoting options. Most people tend to be more comfortable with commercial lines. They know how to sell and bind general liability, but not as many people know how to comfortably solicit or sell professional liability. Just knowing a little in this area can easily differentiate you from the next person. The way USLI's policy defines E&O is any actual or alleged error, omission, or negligent act due to the rendering or failure to render a professional service. In layman's terms, we're talking about a business mistake. USLI's Miscellaneous E&O product is referred to as our Specified Professions product and our MicroPro product. Within our policy form, defense costs are outside the limits of liability, which means that even when these lawyer fees are adding up, these will not get subtracted from the limits the insured chose to bind. We include personal injury, by which we mean invasion of privacy, libel and slander, defamation as well. And our available errors and omissions limits are up to $5 million, although the most popular limit is the $1 million, and we have a $0 deductible and up. The GL is a standard 1 million, 2 million, and business personal property, as well as hired and non-owned auto coverage, is also available to package with the E&O. The E&O is on a claims-made form, and the rest is on an occurrence form, and the insured is not strained with combined limits. They are separate from each other. We are also able to add endorsements for first and third-party cyber liability coverage for stolen data or accidentally letting personal information slip out to the public. Through a separate umbrella or excess policy, we can add to our underlying terms to increase the hired and non-owned auto limits and the GL limits up to $5 million. But with that being said, please remember E&O can be purchased on a monoline basis. Not all these coverages need to be added. So our question today is why E&O? 20 years ago, if you asked this question, the answer would probably have been for a contract. I've been underwriting E&O for over 15 years, and we've seen the claims associated with our policies. It's not the contract causing the problems, it's the bad days when an insured makes a poor judgment call, trusts their vendor's words when they shouldn't, or think they're doing the right thing, but in hindsight, we're not. I don't think there's a single working professional, including you or me, who hasn't made one or all of these wrong moves at least once in their careers. There has been a rising tide of E&O professionals for quite some time. The US economy is mostly a service-based economy with more service companies listed on the Fortune 500 list than manufacturing companies. Even during the pandemic, it remained a service-based economy. Professional services acting as a backbone of our economy is what E&O is designed to protect. So as these service industries grow, so has this need for E&O. At USLI, between our various E&O products, we can contemplate over 300 types of consultants, including those training all ages within most industries, those with technology expertise, various professionals supporting businesses so they can achieve success, the event and travel industries, creative design industries, those working in sales and communications, within the legal, healthcare, and education industries, transportation, financial, and real estate industries as well. The list goes on and on. We have over 60 underwriters spread out throughout the US and Canada, each quoting thousands of E&O quotes daily with a 3-hour turnaround goal. Starting and maintaining a profitable business is a challenge no matter what industry. Part of making this investment of time, energy, and money work involves finding the right advice, analysis, and streamlining the workflow. Consultants assist in giving the advice about cost containment, communications management between both the employees but also with clients. Huge global corporations may have an in-house advisor, but most businesses do not. And the most cost-effective way to work through any hiccups or business concerns is to hire a consultant to help them. In the following slides, I'll highlight some of the trending classes we have seen in the past few years, mainly due to what the pandemic is doing to our economy. The trends in management and marketing industries are shifting in reaction to this economy. Management consultant is one of our biggest classes. Management consulting really can appear in any industry that needs streamlining workflow, increasing efficiencies, and hence increasing the profits. Traditional, slower marketing and management strategies that were sufficient during stable times before the pandemic are now being tested, reconsidered, and reimagined. Businesses have to keep up with rapid digital transformations and be able to rearrange operations at a moment's notice while still trying to make a profit. Management and marketing consultants are now considered essential and used with more urgency than before. And I suspect that post-pandemic recovery efforts will also require advice from these two types of consultants. So we see this as being a long-term trend. Coaching services are really in the same boat as management and marketing consultants. Business leaders aren't sure how to rework their workforce after forced layoffs or how to keep morale up. They aren't sure how to engage with their customers when they can't always be face-to-face with them, and this is when they rely on a business coach. Next is the education industry. Because many of these professionals often have direct interaction with minors, we can offer sexual abuse molestation supplements with the E&O. We continue to see tutors and teachers, curriculum specialists, special education consultants, train the trainers, and college admissions consultants. Education cannot stop regardless of an economy or COVID, and new educational hurdles are actually making this industry of consultants grow. Human resource consultants are in need as businesses figure out how to legally handle layoffs, downsizing, and temporary halts to operations. They are the experts in employment laws, rules, and regulations on how employees should be treated. This has always been a huge class we write, but now it's in higher demand. So while we continue to see the more traditional HR consultants, one area I wanted to touch upon today is the DEI consultant, diversity, equity, and inclusion professionals in the workplace. This industry faced a drop in working professionals at the very start of the pandemic. When layoffs and cost cuttings were happening, DEI professionals were unfortunately also cut. However, there was a surge of diversity, equity, and inclusion roles after the protests in reaction to the death of George Floyd in May of 2020. The DEI-related job openings then rose by 55%. Traditionally, these were only afforded by large companies, but now small companies are finding their services to be crucial when we see these submissions daily. Businesses coming out from the dust and rubble of the pandemic will need to rebuild their business stories and brands. Public relations consultants can help with positive positioning on social media, work their magic with press and marketing statements, and show consumers what ways a business is adapting to a new normal. All of the consultants I just spoke about qualify for our specified professions product, but also our MicroPro product. The MicroPro product provides $1 million of professional liability limits with a $0 deductible starting at $650. In order to provide terms, we're looking for gross revenues based on a 12-month estimate, details as to what their specific consulting services will entail, and a staff count. I'd like to switch over to our allied healthcare E&O and GL product just to make you aware of the vast areas of healthcare professionals we can contemplate. Wellness and therapy counselors and centers are a huge trend right now. So according to the CDC, 2 in 5 US residents are struggling with their mental health during the pandemic. Crunching these numbers, it means over 100 million people need the assistance of a therapist. Separately, according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average growth rate of an occupation is at about 4%. Mental health professionals' growth rate is at 25%. Another trending class is the ABA therapist, Applied Behavior Analysis and Learning Disability Support Services. These fields are commonly utilized by children in special education environments, helping the students and their families cope with learning disabilities, and it's often a mandated part of the kids' IEPs. So by law, there is a demand there. ABA therapists are the ones assisting districts, teachers, and families, and of course, the learner with all these hurdles. And lastly, the day spas we write professional, general, and business personal property for. These will include bodily injury harm, professional liability for masseuses, makeup artists, nails, hair, aromatherapy, very extensive list. But remember, it's day spas that we do consider. If it's a medical spa with doctors and nurses on staff, or they're doing things like Botox, this is not something USLI would consider as part of this product. So let's hop back more to the miscellaneous E&O with the class of the graphic designers. So the way this relates to our current times is that graphic designers are hired to create messages in a visual form that can be understood regardless of a viewer's language, culture, or background. And this is really relevant right now because of all the pandemic rules. We are all being pelted with so much information daily, and graphic visual aids help to simplify that. Graphic designers also play a huge role in creating images and logos for websites, news sites, e-commerce sites, and social media posts. Another class is the interpreter and translation business, who have noticed a 32% increase since the pandemic started. In the US, about 25 million people are considered LEP, limited English proficient. Information and communication is crucial for increasing safety, decreasing spread, and informing Americans of what's next after vaccinations. So state and county websites tried to use Google Translate, but they found it to be very unclear and inaccurate. Federal agencies, hospitals, and businesses have realized that freelance interpreters and translators are a much better way to go. Hence, this is a trend to follow for the next couple of years of recovery. And now we come to the CPA, accountant, tax preparer, bookkeeper class. Pandemic or not, these submissions always ramp up from the winter until April 15th, and then the trend starts all over again. This year, businesses need to maneuver through tax credit refunds and COVID relief loans, so there's an extra layer of complexity, making it more important than ever for even the smallest bookkeeper or tax preparer to have proper coverage. I just want to share a quick claims example of a CPA we insure. Due to a typo, our insured entered 61,000 in mortgage interest when filing instead of the correct 16,000. This caused the client to receive $29,000 more in refunds than he should. The CPA's E&O coverage was used to settle the mistake with the IRS and deal with the interest and penalties. So this 2-second typo would have led to major problems were it not for his E&O coverage in place. So here are some examples of recent successes. On our technology E&O product, we bound a social media consultant helping to create catchy posts for the businesses to capture people's attention as they scroll through their social media. There were also many additional coverage features, making this a well-rounded policy, including business personal property coverage and many additional technology and cyber features. Wellness centers often have a mix of different types of expert professionals, and this bound recently on our allied healthcare product is no exception. Many times they aim to take a holistic approach of both mind and body. This center has a mental health therapist, but also fitness instructors and nutritionists. In addition to the professional liability and general liability, there is business personal property for the fitness equipment, as well as molestation coverage, since there will be a lot of one-on-one work. Our specified professions E&O product, we recently bound a vocational consultant, helping others with various aspects of building and developing a career. And the people they worked with were specifically those that are developmentally disabled. While they could have just opted for monoline professional, the agent wanted a more comprehensive policy, so they included GL, cyber coverages, because the personal information they might have access to while helping their clients with their career. We spoke about our coaching class in an earlier slide and find that many specialize in working with a certain type of executives. Some focus on specific industries, while this one bound focused on working with C-level positions filled by women. This is a great example of how we are comfortable with both in-person and virtual services, as well as work done in Canada. Massive layoffs, or those voluntarily wanting to change career and direction during the pandemic, led to a greater need for staffing agencies, both temporary and permanent. This particular risk staffed warehouse and factory workers. The demand is high to protect these businesses with E&O coverage. When the turnover is so frequent and there's a lot of juggling happening within these employment agencies, this means there's more of a chance of mistake leading to their clients' financial harm. And finally, a CPA providing a variety of tax and financial services to clients. This is a class that we get many claims on, and the claims almost always require expert witnesses and months, if not years, of a discovery period. This class is a great selling point for defense being outside the limits. The legal expenses on these time-consuming lawsuits can add up so quickly, especially if you consider that the hourly lawyer rates are between $250 and $400. Next, I'm going to pass this on to Katie, who will be telling you about our instant phone quoting capabilities.
Thanks so much, Lisa. And before we move on, I think we had one question that popped up. Could you talk a little bit about a common claim that's covered by E&O versus a common claim that is not covered?
Yes, that's a great question. Oftentimes people, insureds will mix up what the E&O is supposed to do versus what their business commercial package policy is going to do. So really the most common claim is that our insured does something wrong or advises their client incorrectly or poorly, and the client uses this information to make their own business decision. And that leads to them losing money. So that's actually a very common claim we have. We also have invasion of privacy situations, personal injury, defamation, especially, if we have an advertising agency where they're in an ad, they might be mentioning another competitor's information. They might be sued for defamation if they say something, you know, unfavorable about the competition. And then the common claim that is not covered is really bodily injury. So, sometimes we do have insured saying, someone fell and hurt themselves. They were at my office. So, will this be covered under my E&O? A slip and fall is not considered a part of how they render or poorly render a professional service. So that's going to be more covered on, their GL package policy, not on their E&O side. And so that's actually one of the reasons we like or prefer to package our policies, because then there's no finger pointing, because most likely the claim is going to fall under one or the other, the E&O side or the GL side. And when you have all in one policy with one carrier, there's no finger pointing happening. Hopefully that answered your question.
That's always good. Limited finger pointing.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else, everyone. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa. And if you have any other questions, again, feel free to chat them in. We will be here, and Lisa can answer all your product-specific questions. But we're going to go ahead and keep it rolling. What is instant phone quote? So Lisa just talked to you all about your different product offerings and how USLI can help you, and what our product covers and all that good stuff. I'm going to tell you the quickest and easiest way to get a quote available, which is our instant phone quote option that's available to you through CID Insurance. When you dial that number you see on your screen, that 877-969-7539 number, you're going to be connected to one of USLI's 60-plus underwriters that can quote this business to you directly on behalf of CID. we're going to ask you the key rating and eligibility questions, probably 8 to 10 questions to generate a premium. We're going to verbally present that quote to you, and then we are going to send you a copy of that quote. Best part is you're going to get a pre-filled application. So everything you answered over the phone with that underwriter pre-filled into that app, sent to you along with the quote. So you're getting, everything we're doing that for. You're going to get it in a clean email right at the end of that call. The other good thing to note here is if USLI cannot quote the risk for you over the phone, we're going to refer you back over to CID, whether we have you fill out an application or we physically warm transfer you over, so connect you with somebody on their team. We're going to get you back over because we are one of CID's many, many options for you. And we never say, sorry, can't help you, have a nice day. We're going to help you find a solution, even if it's not with us. We want to make quoting this type of business that we do easy and efficient, even if it's not with us this time. Some of the benefits available to you: save time, no need for accord forms, no applications at all up front. We're going to give you that pre-filled application like I mentioned. A great piece is flexibility. You can quote from anywhere. So, you have an insured at your desk, you're out on the road, you can pick up your phone and call with them right then and there and get a fully completed app. So you can answer more than just the 8 to 10 underwriting questions that generate that premium, but you can get the fully completed quote if you have somebody with you. But it's pretty impressive when you can do it right in front of a client. Accessibility-wise, I know that we have people from everywhere on this call today. You can reach an underwriter from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday to Friday. So that's all day for our friends on the West Coast, through 5 p.m. And then on Saturdays, if you're crazy enough to work on Saturdays, we are right there with you. So we're 9 to 1 on Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays as well. So really early in the morning for our West Coast friends till about 5 for the week, and then early morning on Saturday. All right, now's the fun part. You heard Lisa talk about the product. I'm going to call in and we're going to do a very quick demonstration. I'm going to show you how simple and easy this is. I am going to flip to the next slide here and show you all of the products that are able to be quoted this way while I get the underwriter on the line. But bear with me, we're going to do a quick test quote for one of our miscellaneous E&O classes. So bear with me one sec.
Hello, this is Judy. How can I help you today?
Judy, it's Katie Taraborelli. How are you?
Good. How are you, Katie?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks.
Awesome.
I'm doing a webinar for our friends at CID today.
Okay.
I wanted to do a quick test quote. I'm going to do somebody that does like business coaching. We'll say they coach their leadership team, like somebody's leadership team.
Oh, absolutely. So just doing like assisting professionals with their goals and coaching.
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. Now, Katie, what agency are you calling from today?
You know what, Judy? You can leave that blank for now, but for everybody on the call, this is where you would enter your agency info. You're going to give your agency name, address, phone number, so we can get you a copy of the quote. But for this one, let's just leave it blank.
All right, no problem. So let's start with the quote. And what are the gross receipts for the year?
We'll say $150,000.
Okay. Any employees, or is it just the owner?
It's just the owner right now.
Okay, got it. All righty. And so let's capture some information. So just confirming that they're not doing any mental health coaching or anything along those lines.
Nope, all business coaching.
Got it. And what's the address?
We'll be really creative and go with 123 Main Street.
I like it. Okay. And what is the zip code?
Let's do 92115.
Okay. All right, Katie, that's coming up as San Diego. Is that right?
Perfect. Yep.
Okay, fantastic. Now, have they had any losses or claims within the past 5 years?
No.
Okay. Are they aware of any fact or circumstance that something may arise?
Nope, not at this time.
Okay. Katie, what line of coverage are you looking for? Is it just the professional?
For right now, yeah, let's just do the professional. But Lisa was just telling us we can package this, correct?
Yes, for this particular class, we can package it.
Great.
So that's a great thing. Keep that in mind. Okay. Now, do they have any independent contractors that are working for them?
Nope.
Okay, got it. All right, then bear with me one moment here, and I'll actually be able to pull up the premium. And we're going to do this for the errors and omissions. So the quote is going to be with United States Liability Insurance Company. It's also going to be on admitted paper. It comes with an AM best rating for USLI of A++, which is a superior rating. So we do quote this with limits of liability at $1 million, $1 million.
Okay.
And we're looking at a total premium of $720 for the year.
Great.
Okay.
Great. Yep.
All right. And they are eligible for direct billing with USLI up to 2 payments.
Okay.
All right. So you won't have to collect any money up front. We can invoice them directly once we get the bind request through CID. But what I'll do is I'll send over a copy of the quote that we just went over, as well as a pre-filled application.
Perfect. Sounds
Okay.
great. Thank
All
you
right.
so much, Judy.
You're welcome. Anything else I can help you out with today, Katie?
Nope, I think that's it.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, everyone. What did you think? Let me know what you thought in the chat. Easy, simple. She was very friendly. Yes, absolutely. It can't be that simple. Absolutely, it is that simple. So the great thing is Judy is a fully trained underwriter. She is a specialist on our professional lines team, which you wouldn't even know unless I told you. But you're going to talk to experts each and every time. You know, if it's something that that particular underwriter isn't the best suited for, they're going to transfer you to somebody that is. So you're always going to be able to talk coverage, talk pricing, you know, all of that we'll be able to address. What you can expect after the call, you know, a copy of that quote, pre-filled app are going to be sent to you directly. CID also gets a copy of the quote in their email. So if you have a question, you want them to remarket it, you know, remember they have that quote and pre-filled application so they can tell you what else they might need to get you a quote with another market. Bind request should be sent to your contact at CID. You know, as a reminder, we are just doing the upfront quoting for this product, for all those products that you saw on that postcard. But all binding is going to be handled through them. Just a reminder here, all you need to do, call the instant quote team. You have a miscellaneous E&O product, you call that number you see on your screen. No accord forms applications at all. Underwriters are available extended hours. It's that simple. You also have the ability to quote online at CIDinsurance.com. So you can absolutely do that. There are particular products that have chat available. So if you get stuck, you have that same access to the underwriters that just answered the phone via chat. And if you don't see the chat option and you just see the phone number, you can just pick up the phone and call right in. It's just one of those products that's better suited to talk through it versus just do it via chat. But the great thing there is it really can help reduce the transaction time from, you know, days to minutes by just, you know, being able to chat with them right then and there. We do have one more question before I turn it back over to Lexi to finish us up. I will say thank you before I say this question. Thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. I will challenge everyone to try the system out. Give us a shot at your next risk that comes across your desk. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with what we can offer you and how quickly and easily we can quote that for you. So thank you from Lisa. I'm going to actually ask Lisa this question before we give it to Lexi. But Lisa, we got a question. What are the most effective ways to market E&O to get more of this business?
That is a great question. I think that there's various different ways, but one way that is very successful is to offer them examples of claims. So we have claims examples written out for every single one of our classes. And I think that when that business owner or professional looks at the claims example and realizes, oh my gosh, that could completely happen to me, or relates to it, I think that's an eye-opener for them. Also, just the cross-selling option, you know, if a business has a package or a GL, and they're a licensed or certified professional, they really have an everyday exposure of a malpractice claim. So, you know, really try to give them the whole package by saying, well, we've got your GL all covered, but what about a business mistake? You know, how are you going to get yourself out of a business mistake? And also, word of mouth is really unbelievable. You know, you will talk to one business coach, and that business coach will get your great service and your, you know, the micro pro rates. They will tell their friend, and then it's just one after the other from there. I constantly get quote requests where they say, I want a quote just like, Janet's or Tim's or something like that. And it really is, I think a lot of people are not sure how to get professional liability. So when they hear that their friend or their colleague does, they'll go to their next, meeting, and they'll mention you or that policy, and it just kind of dominoes from there. Yeah, and then also I love to use statistics really when talking to people. As you could tell, I researched a lot of statistics for this chat, but there's so many resources about growth in certain occupations, especially the U.S. labor of statistics, but also, finding out the numbers of how many human resource consultants there are. Is it a $20 billion industry or $1 billion industry? And you really can figure out which basket to put all your eggs in, kind of thing, by looking through some basic, stats and facts about that particular industry.
Great. Thank you so much, Lisa. Hopefully that answers your question. And with that, I'm going to flip it back over to Lexi to finish us up.
Okay, perfect. Wow, that was great, Lisa and Katie. I really enjoyed listening to you both and really appreciate all your insight. So thank you so much. And thank you all for joining. If you need specific applications, we do have them on our website at cidinsurance.com. We also have recorded webinars on so many different topics and tools to help you along the way. I will be your underwriter for any professional risks that you may have. We have many markets, including USLI, that we can submit to. So if you have any submissions or questions, I would be happy to review and help you. Lastly, Jacob will be sending some materials to you after the webinar, which will include the web quote and phone quote information that Katie spoke about. So thank you again for joining despite your busy schedules, and I look forward to working with you. Have a great day.